Hey, what's up? Welcome to the channel today. Today, I just want to show you what I do to sharpen my chainsaw chains for chainsaw milling. A milling chain is different than just a regular chain that you use for just bucking up lumber. I have ripping chains, and when you get a ripping chain, they're just sharpened at a different degree and angle than your normal chain is. I think it's at like a 10 degree. You can see I'm getting ready to do it. I got this long 42-inch chain because I have a 42-inch bar on my chainsaw mill, and I'm using these like Woodland Pro. I really like these chains, and so it's at a 10-degree pitch. And so I've had different sharpening systems. I've had the Granberg system. That's the manual one. I also own, and I've got it in, the thing is their grinder, but honestly, neither one of them have impressed me that much, and I just can't seem to get a good consistent result with them. They're kind of finicky, they're kind of wobbly, but what I found is, you might be surprised, this is what I use, the STIHL sharpening system to sharpen my chainsaw chains. And you might be wondering, well, how do you get it at the right pitch every time and right angle? Because this is, you know, you line up all the lines for like the 30-something degree. Well, what I've done is I've made these little jigs that I attach onto my bar, and then I'm able to use this to match the angle, and I can move really quickly with it. I'm really, really pleased with the cut. Now, if you're wondering what size files that I use, I'm just going to be honest with you. I have no clue. I buy a bunch of them, and when I feel like I need some more, I take it back to the guy that does work on my chainsaw, and I was like, hey, what size are these again? And he just says, points to the ones. I get it. The other thing that you might want to play around with, so figure out what size file you need for your specific chain. I'm not going to tell you that. That's something you got to figure out. As well as, there's a file kind of in the middle of this thing right here. As you can see, I don't even know what it's called. It'd be kind of like a bastard file. That's for, I do this all the time. I don't know the technical name for the little thing right there, but as you're sharpening this, I think it's a raker or something like that, you got to file it down. And oftentimes I used to use this little jig that you'd set over it with a bastard file and go over it. Well, this system takes it all down, and the thing that you can also play with is different sizes to get the depth that you like. But anyways, a lot of it's experiment. You're gonna have to figure out experimenting on your own, but I am gonna show you how I get really good consistent results using this to sharpen my ripping chain by just making a few simple jigs. So let me show you the jigs and how it kind of goes, and then I'll show you some more detail on how I go about sharpening it, and then you can take it and run with it from there and figure it out. But it's just so much easier and more consistent than anything else that I've found, and I don't want to try to freehand it. I want some consistency with my stuff. So I've been doing this for a while now. I mill for a lot of people. I mill for myself, like where I'm milling multiple logs for people. So this has really helped because I do quite a bit of milling. So all right, so what I've made are these like angled just jigs out of plywood. Nothing special. What I've done is I've cut this the top of it at a 10 degree. Don't really worry about what this is. That was early in the early stages. I put 80 degrees on there for like the tilt angle, and that's just not true. But I have one for the right and one for the left, and I think if someone wanted to, like, I'm just lazy and I don't do it, but I could probably put some rare earth magnets on there and they just stick to my bar. But I'm able to, I just take what I do is usually just take a clamp and I clamp it on and do all right, so you can see I have a little bench that a woodworking bench that I use all the time for all different things, but it's great for sharpening because it's got a vise on there. It can hold my big 42-inch bar, and what I do is I just, like you can see, I clamp the jig on, and this one's for the right side of it, and it's got the 10-degree angle that I need to keep it at. And so what I'm able to do is I'm able to just take my sharpening jig, I'm able to lay it down where it needs to be, and the thing I love about this one is it rests where it needs to be, and then I just line it up and I can hold my angle, and then I'm able to do my strokes. You know, I'm holding this thing, so with one hand I can't really show you, but I'm able to put the right amount of pressure. If I want to, I know what I like mine. Honestly, I've experiments. I kind of tilt mine down just a hair by feel, and I know exactly where it is, but I'm able to hold that angle and just run it along there and match it with this bar every single time. And I'm able to do it, and then I'm able to just slide and keep moving. And then all I've got to do is on the other side, for the left side, when it's time to do that, I can clamp that one on and do the same thing. And it has really changed my sharpening game up. So I really like using this. Again, you'll have to play around with the file sizes, which match your exact chain, and this file right here that takes care of the, I think it's called a raker. You can correct me, I have no clue. I do this stuff all the time, and I don't even know the technical names of some of this stuff. I just figure this stuff out. But this allows, I really like the setting in the file that I have played around with, the different sizes to get the offset that I like. And then I get a really sharp chain, and it cuts really good, and it leaves a really good cut for a chainsaw mill. So anyways, that's how I do it. If you have any questions, make yourself, again, one of these jigs. It's just made out of plywood with a 10-degree cut, and I mounted it to where it's at a 90-degree angle. And I've got one for the left side and the right side, mount it onto my bar, and then I use the STIHL chainsaw sharpener and reference it and just hold it at that you know, angle, and then I kind of play around, and I know by feel what angle I want it there. And so anyways, and then I can move it along pretty, I mean, I can sharpen a chain really quickly with this, and I can do the same consistency of like however many strokes depending on what each chain needs. Anyways, maybe that'll be helpful for you if you're trying to figure out a good consistent way to sharpen your chain, ripping chain for your chainsaw milling. Check this out, get it, and then just make you a jig. Anyways, hope that is helpful. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave a comment below. I like to try to give people as many tips as I can in chainsaw milling. It's something I love doing. And man, it's been a lot of trial and error because there hasn't been a lot I've found on the internet that has been helpful. And so I'm just trying to put this out for you to show you what works for me. And maybe it'll help you along and save you a little bit of frustration. So no knock on the Granberg sharpening systems. They may work great for you. I just found them kind of finicky, not really solid and tricky. I would love to, you know, get a 3D printed thing of this, plastic, and maybe do some more updates to it. But honestly, this has just worked for me, and I'm lazy and don't want to make something any more complicated than it already is. So, yeah. Anyways, have a good day. Get out there and keep chainsaw milling.